coming in of once again Rahul Gandhi's fresh attack on the Modi government. He now goes on to say that Agneepath has been rejected by the youth, the farm laws were rejected by farmers, demonetization rejected by traders, GST rejected by businessmen. The Prime Minister does not want what India wants, he says. He can't, in fact, hear anyone except his friends. So once again, Rahul Gandhi coming out with that fierce attack against the Modi government and giving it once again a political turn, and also in a way citing the other instances where there have been several such protests against the government. So Priyank, once again a fresh attack coming in from Rahul Gandhi.
Was in fact day before yesterday, while he was about to enter for the next round of questioning, had also tweeted some same pattern, and once again he has hit it out on the government of India on the schemes. But the political parties are certainly raising their this issue that whether the age limit should have been there or not. That's why there was one more clarification.
ट्रेन के तोड़ दिए गए हैं और जो उपद्रवी छात्र हैं वो अभी भी वहां पर उपद्रव मचा रहे हैं, पत्थरबाजी ट्रेन के ऊपर कर रहे हैं. तो ये अपने आप में बड़ा सवाल है, ये जान में जोखिम में डालने वाली चीज है, क्योंकि अगर यहां पर इन छात्रों के मूवमेंट में अगर कोई सामने फंस जाता है तो उसको निश्चित तौर पर क्षति होगी. और यही तस्वीर यहां से हम अपने दर्शकों को भी दिखा रहे हैं. किसी तरह हम वहां से भागकर यहां पर पहुंचे हैं और यहां से कोशिश कर रहे हैं अपने दर्शकों को, कैमरा पर्सन को लगातार वो तस्वीर दिखाए. अभी भी वहां पर हो हंगामा हो रहा है. जो छात्र हैं वो इस ट्रेन पर पथराव कर रहे हैं. ये ट्रेन रुकी हुई है और यहां पर पथराव जो है वो जारी है. अगर हम आगे जाएंगे तो हम पे भी पथराव शुरू हो जाएगा. यहाँ जो स्थिति दिखी है, इसलिए हम लोग स्टेशन से भागकर बगल में यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं. और अभी भी उपद्रवी लगातार, हो सकता है कि कुछ देर बाद इस ट्रेन को भी आग लगा दिया जाए, जिस तरह की तस्वीर यहाँ पर दिख रही है. तो लगातार इस पूरे इलाके में, जो भोजपुर का इलाका है, पूरे इलाके में इस तरह के आंदोलन और इस तरह का जो हिंसक आंदोलन है वो देखने को मिल रहा है. ट्रेनों को जलाया जा रहा है, क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा जो इस तरह के जो छात्र हैं जो आर्मी में बहाली के लिए तैयारी करते हैं वो इसी इलाके से आते हैं. जो भोजपुर का पूरा इलाका है, इस इलाके में बड़ी संख्या में ऐसे छात्र जो है वो है. तो ऐसे में जो ट्रेनें इधर से गुजर रही है उसको सीधे तौर पर टारगेट किया जा रहा है. और प्रशासन के मना करने के बावजूद ये लोग मान नहीं रहे हैं और तोड़फोड़ जो है वो ट्रेन में जारी है. कोशिश हम यहीं से कर रहे हैं कि किस तरह से इन लोगों का जो काम है, जिस तरह से ये आंदोलन कर रहे हैं, उसकी हम सीधी तस्वीर आप लोगों को दिखाएं. जी.
All right, so that was another report filed by my colleague from one of the places where trains have been burned. And Priyanka, what is the administration doing? Have they been taken any action? Because this is certainly a case of how they have been possibly outnumbered, or how they were possibly not anticipating this kind of a reaction coming in.
See, for today, certainly the administration was aware, because there was a proper protest call which was given by various student wing as well as various political parties. But yesterday was certainly the cops were caught unaware. And because of the Friday prayers, there have been massive deployment which has been done in the state of Uttar Pradesh. That's why the situation is certainly somewhat calmer than what has been seen in Bihar. We have been reporting from one of the railway stations which was under the attack yesterday. And as you can see, the senior officials have already started camping here. But those number of police personnel who should have actually been here to control that kind of massive movement of the crowd are not certainly seen on the ground. So it's just a matter of fact that till how long the police official will be able to hold that kind of huge crowd which is coming out. But we are talking about Indian railway track, and the tracks are, the length of these tracks cannot be covered personally. It's a matter of, those students to think that whether they actually want to damage the public property or not, because not even public property, if the trains are burning, if the stones are being hurled, which was happening here yesterday, that certainly many commuters can also get injured. This is once again what has been happening from this particular stretch of the rail track, which starts from Guwahati and goes towards the national capital, where we saw that from Bihia there was the arsling. We know that from Samastipur.
All right, stay with us, Priyank, even as we are getting in multiple images back to back from various parts of Bihar, which has been one of the worst affected areas. And Priyank, as you were pointing out, any more action that is expected, even as the administration has been expecting these protests to happen, but now they have taken a violent turn.
Yes, certainly. This is what is happening on the ground, because these are the handful of, few of the police personnel who are certainly not there in a position to control this kind of massive movement of the crowd. When we reached here, we spotted the police personnel telling all these youth not to gather in large number, but we are talking about the railway station. People will do come, and that is the prime target which has happened for these rioters who have come out on the streets, and from the streets they move to the railway track, and they have been randomly attacking all those coaches which were empty. They have been attacking those rail engine at various railway stations. This was the railway station which also saw a series of stone pelting which happened yesterday. And once again from Balia in Uttar Pradesh, where we saw that lathi charge was used by the police officers to disperse the crowd. Then we saw from Samastipur how trains were burned, and just a few kilometers from Ada, approximately 35 to 40 kilometers from the state capital of Bihar, Patna, there have been incidences of burning down coaches, which is certainly being brought under control by the fire department officials and the railway police personnel. But who is behind this?
Stay with us, Priyank, even as we are getting in more and more visuals, this time from Sikandrabad, this time once again the railway property has been damaged, the tracks have been blocked, and we can see how several of these carts that have been pushed towards the track to block it completely. So this is not stopping any time now, even as the centre has made its effort to dispel all doubts that have been created, because it seems like several of these aspirants are not fully aware of what exactly this scheme entails to.
Yes, certainly. We just had a conversation with one of the youth when we had gone inside one of the local coaches of the GMU, which was stationed, and he also stated that once these youth will come out, they will be working against the forces of the country, and they will be becoming anti-national. When I asked him specifically that how many incidences of former armed personnel joining terrorist organization or any Naxal or movement have you read so far, he was left with no answer. So certainly the WhatsApp University is working very fast to propagate these ideas that once these youth who have done the arms training will be coming and joining the anti-national forces, it's certainly a disrespect for the men in uniform. It's certainly a disrespect for all those training which is being given to all those security personnel as well as to those men who have joined the Indian Army or various forces.
In fact,
but the fact remains
Priyank, even as we have been getting his multiple images coming in on our screens right now from Sikandrabad, where once again public property has been damaged there. There have been counters, food stalls that have been targeted. Several of the tracks that have also been in a way witnessing carts being burned down and blocked. We do not see the protesters at this point, but the aftermath of what exactly occurred there. We can see smoke billowing from one section of this particular platform, even as several efforts are being made to make sure by the administration there to stop these protesters from getting violent, but that is not happening anytime now. As we can see on our screens right now, the station, this particular railway station in Sikandrabad has once again been vandalized, targeted, and in a way there has been a mass mobilization of these crowd and aspirants as well, who seem to be angry, but the question is whether or not they are clear about this latest Agneepath scheme or not. Even as the centre has tried to bust its myths, we have been getting in several reactions coming in, not just from the centre, but also clarifications being issued as to how will this particular scheme be beneficial, but no one seems to be in a mood to listen to that, as these aspirants and protesters have taken and gone on a rampage in various parts of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and this is the latest visuals on our screen right now coming in from Sikandrabad. First on Times Now, how this particular food stall that has now been targeted. We can see glass that has been shattered. The entire railway station has in a way been taken over by this particular mob. As we can see, even as efforts are being made by the authorities, the police authorities in concern, to control the situation on the ground, Priyank.
Yes, that's why deployment has been done, but we are talking about thousands of people suddenly moving towards and randomly attacking those railway coaches which are stationed on the railway track. This is certainly physically and practically not possible to provide security on every inch of the railway track. is happening because the open ends of both the sides of the railway track is something which is taken into advantage by these set of individuals who are certainly not students. They have become hooligans and they are becoming like rioters. And certainly, if you talk about my personal opinion, these set of individuals should never and ever apply for any kind of armed forces, because the moment they will enter, they will be thrown out because of the attitude which they are having. So certainly, looking at the tempo with these students have, they should not be called as aspirant for the most disciplined forces of the country, where all these individuals are the asking and stone pelting on police personnel. I was talking to a few of the lady officers here at the Ara railway station from the RPF. She said that they're men who have been targeted. There were stones which were being hurled, and very specifically on those platforms where the asking was happening, they managed to break those CCTV camera, and the connection of the CCTV camera was also taken in out. If you look at those protesters who are coming out and giving sound bites to various local media organizations, they have also muffled faces. So that clearly shows the intent of an individual. If you have some serious grievances, if you have something serious, substantial in your hand, come out and talk to you. Times Now is there to talk to all those individuals. But coming out and doing asking in the name of, taking back the alleged right which you had earlier and not going by whatever is being told to you, is certainly not going to work on the ground. There have been series of FIRs which has also been filed by the police officials with relation to what happened here, what has happened at Samastipur, what is happening in Betia, what had happened in Balia, in Uttar Pradesh, what had happened in Chhapra, which is 45 to 60.
In fact, stay with us, Priyank. Let me also now quickly go across to Swamit joining us on this broadcast, because remember, viewers, this is an entire railway station that has been completely vandalized and attacked by these protesters in Sikandrabad in Telangana. And Swamit, what's happening there?
Well, actually, a few protesters all of a sudden gathered at the Sikandrabad railway station. There were 100 to 200 unlawful, gathering there, and immediately they entered into the railway station forcefully, and they started, vandalizing the train property, that is mirrors and other things, and they have also, tossed a few bags, the parcel bags there, and also tossed a two-wheeler and then thrown it on the track. So they are protesting on the tracks. The trains which